Darkcast Network. Welcome to the dark side of podcasting.
You are listening to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And I'm your host, Alana.
And I'm Kelsey.
And if you're listening to this on Friday, March 29th, we were just saying you can tune in to us tonight live on our fellow show, Creepy Confidential.
Yeah.
We have a collab.
We will
You
be doing
collab, and you get a collab, and you get a collab. No,
it'll be
that's
a
just what I want
YouTube
my life.
live.
Yeah, that's something we haven't done before. So
No.
you guys can tune into it on Creepy Confidential's YouTube if you are so interested. Tonight at around 5 p.m. I don't know. I forgot the time zone.
What time zone are we? Mountain Standard? I don't know if we're gonna.
We are, yes.
Yeah.
And 5 our time, so figure that out. It might be 7 Eastern. Who's to say?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. And just a little bit nervous because we've not done anything live or anything before.
Yeah, I didn't really realize it was going to be live, so we'll see how that goes. Expect if you would like to see Gordo's shenanigans live on YouTube, uncensored, then tune in.
I know, because usually you just get to hear it. Gordo, fuck off.
Yeah, and
thump bang. Meow.
Me having to throw him across the room sometimes gets edited out, so we'll see how it goes in the video.
I do edit it just, to keep the pacing sometimes, but sometimes I find it comedic.
Yeah.
Anyone who owns a cat can understand, or a pet at all, because they can. My dog already burst in because I didn't have the door fully closed.
Yeah, he did. He had a little cameo already.
He's like, "What are you doing, Mom?" And then, he tried to get back out again, and he knows how to get out, but then when the doors aren't fully open, sometimes he forgets how big his shoulders are.
Yeah, he's wide load coming through.
Or you take him for a walk, like he tries to zoom out the door before you can even get it open for him, and the door opens inwards, and you're like, "Bud, this isn't gonna work."
That's so cute. I like that. He's so excited.
Oh yeah, then he's shoots through and slams the screen door open. But anyway, that's not what we were trying to talk about. Yeah, you guys will be able to listen to that. If you don't catch the live, it's going to be available as like a regular episode on their podcast feed and YouTube and stuff. So
yeah, exciting.
Support the CNC crew, and the other CNC crew.
Yeah, the other CNC pod.
Yeah, I think they call themselves their fans Creep Nation, maybe.
Nice.
Cryptic cuties and the Creep Nation collide.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's something to be excited about because I don't know. I just said I had a bit of a chaotic week, but nothing too crazy. It's just after birthday season, licenses were due and other things that kind of pop up and catch you off guard, and like fucking working on notes and shit, and then it's like, all right, now we get to record and do something fun.
I know I was frantically editing my notes yesterday. I was like, okay, I have a 3-day weekend. I need to get some stuff done. Let's plow through a whole time. I normally try and spread it out over at least 2 days. I'll edit some of it, and then
normally I'll be sitting there for a couple hours and really burn yourself out on.
Oh yeah, sometimes it is like 4 hours for me to edit like type up my notes and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah. And speaking of editing, the last one was like the second half ended up being long to edit the episode. I think
Yeah,
we
I
like
ended up
broke at a weird time, so the second half was like an hour and a half or something. I was like, holy shit.
cutting it up so that it ended up being 3 parts because I needed to put the promo in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So we'll
We
see
do
how
what we can do.
seamlessly, if anybody even really noticed that it was 3 parts. I tried to keep all the volume
Oh,
levels as close as I could. The
oh yeah,
promo
I'm
volume
sure.
level was like 10 times what our higher than what our audio was for the
Yeah, we're
episodes. I was like,
often pretty quiet compared to like other
yeah.
pods and stuff.
I was like, if I put this promo in, our listeners are gonna have hearing damage. So I attached it to the one of the either part 2 or part 3
I
like
think part
segment,
two.
and then
Yeah.
like lowered the volume like a lot. I was like, oh,
Oh, that's
so
smart. Yeah, because there's not a whole lot else we can do
yeah,
to
not
make it
when it's
aligned.
our yeah, yeah, not when
Yeah,
it's
when you're,
not our
yeah,
audio.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Even like compared to say our intro music, our
Yeah.
audio is on the quieter side because we're an indie pod, and I've noticed that with a lot of indie pods. But some people just have, I don't know what they have, better systems that make everything smooth and consistent and nice. Whatever. Um,
Yeah.
insert donate on Patreon here, and we'll figure it out someday.
There's ways you
Right.
can set the minimum and maximum and it'll like adjust the whole audio, but I don't really like doing that cuz I find it
Oh.
it adjusts everything to be almost the same volume, so like parts where people are
Hmm.
talking louder or laughing is going to be as loud as everything else, so you don't really get variation in anything. So,
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
haven't
weird.
played around with anything like
I
that.
did watch a couple tutorials on how to do it when I first started editing some of the episodes, and I was like, this. I did one of them that way, and I did not like how it sounded. Everything was like the same
Mm.
tempo and the same volume, and yeah, just wasn't as like
Interesting.
natural sounding, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah.
So
Oh. Well, hopefully it doesn't annoy people too much. I have, you watch like the occasional movie where you're like, the music's real
yeah,
loud, and then you go to the dialogue and you're like, what are they saying? And you're turning up the remote
turn
or
up the
whatever.
subtitles. No,
Oh my God, yes.
that's why
Those
I
are
just watch everything with
very helpful.
subtitles now. I can't.
She
I
loves
can't
her
trust myself to
subs.
listen to audio sometimes.
Throw in an accent and whew, they
Yeah.
I still think it's funny when they throw on subtitles for people speaking English but with thick accents, like some of the local maritimers that are on like Oak Island. They'll be like, "Oh,
Oh,
here's
yeah.
Carmen Lake, our blacksmithing expert," and then they put on subtitles. I'm like, he's just mumbling with like a thick maritime accent. It's like someone speaking Scottish, like with a Scottish accent, you know what I mean? And then you like
Yeah.
subtitles. But it could be helpful because sometimes they could be difficult to understand. And I've heard the Outlander actors have been told to like lower their Scottish burr a little so that people can, or just slow it down a little so that people can understand a little better that speak
Yeah. I feel like especially people that don't
elsewhere.
speak English or English isn't their first
Hmm,
language, they're basically trying to translate, like listen to audio in a language that's
right.
not their first language. I feel like that takes
Hmm.
a lot more effort to watch stuff than us whose first language is English that are just like, oh, I can't watch anything without
Yeah.
subtitles. Or we
And
have a
I'm
hard time
like,
hearing people.
I can still have trouble understanding an accent or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But,
But anyway, hopefully you won't have to translate us a boot, eh?
a
Again.
boot. Yeah.
Oh my God. And you guys know how I feel about having the words transcribed on like the Spotify and stuff. We just get stuff like
Oh, yeah. I think we talked about that once. So
weird.
it got all messed up. Yeah.
Soccer crimes. No, not soccer crimes. Stalker crimes. Stalker. I guess I'll just have to enunciate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, what are we
Uh,
here to talk about today?
oh, Lord only knows. Whatever I've been yakking about for the last 10 minutes. Nope, that's something completely different.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I almost actually forgot. We are talking about something that's been requested, I feel like, from one or two people, like maybe back since the beginning.
I
Uh,
think it's one of the first suggestions we probably received
yeah,
from one of the listeners. Uh,
this could be true. This could be true. So the long-awaited, uh,
yeah.
for that one guy, Cursed Jewels.
Yeah.
You know who you are. You're welcome. No, it's something that sounds really cool. So I think we did want to do it, but you always have like a list in your back pocket of
Yeah.
topics and stuff. So just
Yeah,
the
it can
way
be
she
hard. And
goes.
then sometimes, like, we try and kind of alternate between ones that we like reoccurring episode topics that we do. Try
Yeah,
not to do them more than once every month to 2 months. So it can take a while
just to
before
switch it
it's
up.
time to
Yeah.
do a type of episode again. So, yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
all aliens, not all murders, not all
Yeah.
conspiracies or what
And it
have you,
had
but
been
just
a while since we had done a like cursed object type episode. So yeah, kind of
they're
fit right
always
in.
kind of fun. Yeah, we did one
Yeah.
early on, and then the haunted objects one was also fun because like cursed chairs and whatnot, just the most bizarre. But yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
this one's even more like curse of King Tut's tomb and stuff. You know what I mean? Because they're like so valuable, so everything's like, ooh,
Yeah,
there's a
they
curse
can
because
be.
it's got blood on it or whatever.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Should
foreshadowing.
be. Yeah, sort of. I mean
For
that fits with
me.
mine too. A bit, yeah. There was a lot of temples being ransacked in a lot of the lists I looked at, and was like, yeah, that would make some angry gods that maybe would curse something. Be like, you took this from
Ooh.
my temple, and
Never take
like,
things from the temple.
no, yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Who are you, Indiana Jones? No, Indiana Jones doesn't take stuff from temples. He's normally fighting the bad guys that are taking stuff from temples, right?
He's the Robin Hood of the archaeology world. He would only steal for the good to keep it out of the hands of the evil
Yeah.
supernatural Nazis with the melting faces or whatever they were. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. He's stealing for good.
well, uh, I will kick us off. I have what it has a few names. I have a little bit of just these type of stones in general. They're called purple sapphires, which I thought
Ooh.
was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because aren't sapphires normally a dark blue?
Yeah. So, it
Huh.
says sapphires don't just come in blue, but they can be almost any color of the rainbow, which is interesting. I didn't know that.
Now
Um,
you know. Yeah, I love learning about that,
yeah.
like different kind of opals and stuff I've heard of. So that's really neat.
Yeah. Uh, and so they can also be purple, and the purple gemstones are far rarer than the blue that you typically associate with sapphires.
Right.
Yeah.
I would
Uh,
imagine. Never heard of her.
Purple gemstones are regarded as mystical talismans of good fortune as well as healing despite their cryptic past, which is right up our alley. And I was like, ooh, cryptic.
As fuck.
Yeah. Purple sapphires are also called violet sapphire or even plum sapphires.
Ooh.
They're the birthstone for September and are the official zodiac stone for the astrological sign Taurus. Which,
Oh.
yeah, I didn't know they had like
Okay.
stone colors. I think that's cool.
Right. Yeah, because that's confusing because like a lot of Tauruses would be May, which is like a green.
Yeah, and then it's not September. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what the site
Okay.
said.
I love it.
It also said that they're the traditional 45th wedding anniversary gift. So I guess if you make it to 45 years, you're supposed to get a purple sapphire.
Like specifically a purple sapphire, not just a
Yeah,
sapphire. Okay.
I think that this was all about purple sapphires, so I think that's
Oh,
specific. Yeah.
that's neat.
Sapphires in general are known for their durability. They rate 9 on the hardness scale.
Oh.
And yeah, they are sometimes confused with amethyst, which are about a 7 hardness. And amethysts lack the clarity and sparkle that you typically find with purple sapphires.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I
So it
know
can be
am
like very similar coloring. So you can have like
right.
more dark ones, a lot lighter ones, but typically amethysts are a lot more cloudy and won't be quite as
Mm,
sparkly.
damn, they sound so pretty.
Yeah. Purple sapphires are a powerful healing gemstone. They support emotional and spiritual well being and are one of the most transformative sapphire varieties. It said that they melt away stress, worry, and anxiety. They can unburden your mind and quiet overthinking.
Oh, need some of that.
Yeah. They can also inspire intuition, clarity, and self mastery. It can keep you focused, steady, and emotionally resilient.
That's pretty cool. Calming,
Yeah,
calm and
I do
steady.
like amethyst is probably one of my favorite stones, other than like opals. So, uh,
Mm.
yeah, I really like amethyst. Tends to be the ones I buy at the rock stores. So I was like, ooh, I just like purple.
Right.
Uh,
So so does Rain. She should have been the one born in February, not Pat.
yeah.
Because that's that. Yeah. But which one's
Um,
yours again? Oh, you got Garnet, right? For
yeah,
January?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
like it. It's like so dark. I like the more vibrant, like
Like a blood
brighter
red.
colors. Yeah.
Right.
I always called it
Okay. I can
dirty red when I was a kid. I
oh,
hated anything
I can
anybody.
so fuck with a dark red though. I love those dark jewel tones,
Yeah.
but I get it. I get it. It's like you're like,
Compared to a
not
lot
for
of the
me.
other ones, it's just not quite as pretty, in my
Right. If it's
opinion.
darker, yeah,
Yeah.
the light doesn't catch it quite the
Yeah.
same and all that stuff. Yeah. Fair.
Uh, Purple sapphires are known as the Stone of Awakening in chakra healing, and healers use the stone as
Damn.
a crown chakra stone, enhancing your psychic and visionary growth. It said
Okay.
meditating with the stone can connect you to higher planes of existence and infuse you with energies of destiny, inspiration, and magic, which
This is
sounded
all
fun.
very handy. Good
Yeah.
for meditation and such. Hmm.
So I was like, ooh, purple sapphires, all that good stuff. So that's a little bit about it. So then when you run across one that's cursed, I
Neat.
mean it's not great because it goes against everything I just talked about.
That's true. I love the
It's like, damn it.
background. It gives us yeah, it gives us some context. You're like, usually
Yeah.
these are associated with all these good things. Positive.
Yeah, now we're gonna talk about a cursed one. It is
Okay.
called the Delhi Purple Sapphire, or a couple sources called it
Hmm.
the Gem of Sorrow, which, wow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's poetic.
Right? It some of the sources kind of had a bit of conflicting information, so I did my best to
Hmm.
piece together most of the history that was pretty
Yeah.
uh like kind of backed up from source to source. So
Right. It's probably been around for a
yeah.
while. That's like mine was like that
Yeah.
too.
It's been quite a long time for this one. I don't know when it first was like mined or anything like that, but its history becomes main, or like the history of its haunting and cursedness dates back to 1857. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's pretty old that way, but I don't know when it was mined. Like, it would be well before that because it was in a temple. Uh,
Right, but the records wouldn't be as good or whatever.
yeah.
But that's
Uh,
one thing I noticed about reading like books in history and stuff is like a couple centuries back, they're like seem to be way easier to just find a raw, gemstone on like a riverbank or something because everything's
yeah.
not so like peered over and like poked through and civilized and settled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, damn.
So, what was happening in 1857 in India? It was forced into a mutiny against the British. And once the British had defeated the Indian Rebellion, the British Army had systematically looted hundreds of shrines, temples, and palaces.
Oh.
Said they were kind of like trying to dampen down any thought that like India would maybe try and rebel again.
By crushing their culture and stuff. Cool, 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 cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, Britain never
right.
does that.
Yeah. So it said
Okay.
soldiers raided sacred chambers and stole many tons of ancient Indian treasures. And that
Ooh.
was true for this Colonel W. Ferris, who stole a purple sapphire from the temple of Indra, who is the Hindu god
Oh.
of war and thunderstorms, which will be important.
Oh.
Remember thunderstorms. It comes up.
That's a
Which I
cool
thought was
god. It's like
kind
Thor.
of cool. Yeah.
Indian Thor.
Um, so this Hindu god, Indra, is often depicted as riding on a white elephant's back and carrying a lightning bolt. So very,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
badass. I liked that.
Red
Um,
cape. Oh, no, wait. Just
yeah.
kidding.
So this Colonel Ferris took this purple sapphire with him when he returned to England, believing that the stone would make his family wealthy. And as the
Hmm.
story goes, bad luck has plagued the owners of the stone ever since. Ferris himself suffered from financial issues after a series of failed investments made by Harris and then later on his son, which left the family
Oh.
near financial ruin.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. The family also suffered debilitating health problems as nearly every family member became ill, like devastatingly ill.
Oh, good. Just
Yeah.
everything.
Um, I don't exactly know when it happened, but it seems like Ferris himself, this Colonel Ferris, who originally stole the stone, he died, and he left the stone to his
Mm,
son, um, who at some
great.
point, like he was kind of trying to get rid of the stone too, because I think he knew like it was bad luck, and he gave it
Yeah.
to a friend. And
Oh,
this
no.
friend ended up committing suicide while they were in possession of the stone. And then
Yikes.
yeah, so like he had given it to them. This person committed suicide and left the stone like back to Ferris's son, and so it was returned back to him when that
Return to
person died.
sender. Yeah, that can't be
Yeah,
that good of a friend that you're going to give him something you know is bringing
right.
misfortune to your family, or you
Yeah.
believe is at least.
Um,
Okay.
the next notable owner is 1890. The Purple Sapphire was passed from Ferris's son onto this scientist and writer named Edward Heron Allen, and it said that he was a close friend of Oscar Wilde, which I thought was cool. uh,
Ooh, the
yeah,
famous writer.
yeah. This Edward Heron Allen was well educated and respected, and he was not a man who believed in mythology or a lot in superstition. But it wasn't long before his life too went downhill, and he quickly found himself blaming the cursed stone.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
All the stone. Couldn't be
yeah.
me.
Well, it's just kind of crazy because he does the
Yeah.
same thing. He kind of lends it out, and then those people are like, "What the fuck?" and give it back
Oh
to
my
him.
God.
So, yeah,
I feel like wasn't that like with the Dybbuk box too, where he like the one guy like gifts it to his mother,
maybe.
and then she's like in the
Yeah,
hospital like, no, gift bad, because she had like a heart attack like immediately.
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it is the Dybbuk box, but you're just like, ay ay ay.
yeah.
With friends like this, I don't need gifts.
uh, yeah. So eventually, he ended up throwing the stone into a canal, hoping it would break the curse.
Oh,
Like if it wasn't near
okay.
him.
Yeah,
It didn't
maybe.
last long, as it said. Just about 3 months later, the stone was dredged from the canal, and whoever dredged the canal found the stone and took it to a jeweler and was like, "Hey, what is this? It looks valuable." And the jeweler
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I recognize this. I made it into a ring for this customer. His name's Heron Allen." And the stone was sent back to him. And Gordo's being a dick. Buddy.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah. And they thought they were
You
doing
see,
such a nice job. They were like, "We'll return it to him. It was lost in the lake."
yeah, you would think somebody would want something
Or the
like that
canal.
back.
And he's like, "God damn it."
Yeah, I suppose, because maybe he's trying to like spare someone else by being like, okay, I'm not gonna sell it
I
or
think
give it
so.
away again. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's worth a try.
Um,
But then it's like
yeah.
the Chucky doll or whatever just always comes back.
Right?
Ugh.
Definitely. Heron Allen then lent the stone to a friend, a celebrated singer, who it said, quote, "Her voice was dead and gone, and she never sang again after wearing the stone,
No.
and promptly returned it to him." So,
Oh, shit. That's a really
yeah,
specific consequence. Like,
right?
hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if she was wearing it while she was performing, or maybe she was just wearing it, but yeah, her singing voice was gone. She was never able to sing again. It didn't say who it was though. That was the only one that it never really
Huh.
talked about who this singer was.
Right.
But yeah,
Makes for a good story.
right?
She got the
After
nodes. Vocal nodes.
I'm living with nodes. Uh,
Yeah,
isn't that
isn't
what
that?
she says? I am a
I think
node survivor.
in the Pitch Perfect one. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, So this after the birth of his first daughter in 1904, Heron Allen did the only thing he could think of after 14 years of trying to get rid of the stone. Um, the
Okay.
most detailed thing I could find was from Atlas Obscura, which said
Ooh.
Heron Allen attempted to neutralize the evil power of the cursed stone and had it, quote, bound with a silver ring fashioned as a double-headed
Oh.
snake and two amethyst scarab beetles beads. So it's now like part of this
Oh.
jewelry uh thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, it almost
By
looks
like
like a keychain.
adding other
Yeah,
positive stones, maybe he thinks he
I
can,
think
yeah,
so.
counter it. That's
He also
cool.
inscribed the ring with the 12 symbols of the zodiac before he locked it in his bank vault within 7 sealed boxes. So,
Oh
like,
my
dude was
god. It
crazy.
is
uh,
literally the big box. No.
yeah.
Fuck.
So he
It's
locks
in
it
the
away
Haunted
alone.
Museum. Sorry.
It should be. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he locks it away along with a note with the warning that detailed the owner's past misfortunes and stated that the stone was accursed and stained with the blood and dishonor of all who've owned it. Um,
Oh, all
I
and dishonor.
yeah, I do actually have a copy of the letter that was in it, and I'll read it at the end. It's kind of interesting. He has like his own history. Um,
Ooh,
which
okay.
some of it I talk about, so it's kind of cool that he had it in his letter that was in the bank. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, in the bank deposit, safety deposit box or
Yeah,
whatever.
being like, this is the warning.
Ooh.
Heron Allen later bestowed the sapphire to the Natural History Museum in London
Mm.
under the condition that the box not be opened until at least 33 years after his death, and that under no circumstance must his daughter ever touch or be in possession of it.
He's just setting it up for a future horror movie.
Right.
But my granddaughter.
No.
That didn't say anything about that.
Aha! So
Boy.
we fast forward to 1943. I don't exactly know when, but at this point, Edward Heron Allen had died. I don't know how long he had been dead for, if it was the 33 years or
Mhm.
not. But the box was shipped
Oh.
to the National History Museum, where it remained pretty undisturbed. Some of the sources said that, like, they opened the box and took out the stone and like its kind of thing, but they didn't see the note until like decades after, and then we're like, what the hell?
Oh god. It just like fell off
Yeah.
to the side, yeah.
Yeah, but it was pretty undisturbed for at least 30 years until about 1972, when this curator Peter Tandy found the sapphire and then like revealed its warnings. He was the first one, I guess, to find the note.
That's cool.
um
He was like, guys?
yeah.
Hmm.
By the time that the note was opened and everything, a gemological study had evolved, and the purple sapphire was analyzed at the request of the museum, and it was discovered to actually be an amethyst. So it was never a purple sapphire.
Oh my god. Okay, I should have seen that coming because of the one article that had talked about you, the one, yes, this one that you're covering, the purple sapphire too. And then it talked
Yeah,
about mine later on, and then was like, kind of said something to that effect. Was like, just like this one was not what it seems. And I was like,
yeah,
oh, hey, you assumed I read the whole article, but I didn't. I had to skip that because Kelsey was covering it. But
yeah.
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so it
Um,
is
it is
the
technically
cloudier
an
version.
amethyst, yeah.
Huh.
Which is
So
interesting because in his letter that he like Heron Allen wrote in 1904, he
yeah.
says in there that it's an amethyst. So I don't know when he figured out it was an
Oh,
amethyst, but I'm under the impression that when he wrote that letter in 1904, he knew, because it's
huh.
in the letter. But the
Right. And
museum was under
maybe,
the impression it was a purple sapphire.
or maybe they wanted to
Um,
keep that quiet because
yeah,
it's
I don't
much
really know.
more interesting and rare.
Yeah, so in
Huh.
2004, this curator at the museum named Richard Savin, he states in this museum secrets video from the History Channel that while transporting the amethyst from a to a symposium of the Heron Allen Society, um, he said, quote, "We drove through the most amazing storm we had ever witnessed. Lightning was flashing on both sides of the car, and my wife was shouting at me, 'Throw the damn jewelry away. We shouldn't have brought it.'" Which sounded fun. Um,
She's like, God damn it. This is all your
yeah.
fault.
Uh, yeah, it just reminded me of Annabelle, because they're like,
Yeah.
when they say like they can't get her out of their car when they try and like take her somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I think
That's
I
kind of what it made
remember.
me think
It's
of,
just like,
just like stuff happening in a car.
no. I can't
Um,
overpower this doll. Yeah.
yeah. This same curator, when tasked with its transportation a second time, he fell violently ill with a stomach bug, and then later on a third time he was asked to transport it. Just before he could go to pick up the gem, he fell ill and then ended up passing a kidney stone. So he's like, please stop asking me to transport it. Um,
Oh,
I keep getting
no.
ill. Uh,
I can't think of kidney stones without hearing that the Indian doctor on Friends when Joey gets kidney stones. Because
what does he say?
I don't know. Joey's just like, could it just be like stomach pains? He's like, or kidney stones. Like he's just like,
Uh,
and
yeah,
then
it
poor,
is not
yeah,
fun. Um,
no.
when I had my kidney stone, it was the only time I've ever vomited from like pain. Like,
Ooh, oof,
yeah, it
yeah.
was brutal.
I think it might be the
I
only thing like a man can experience that would come close to childbirth because they have to like you have to pass one of the big ones is like, ah, I hear it's
Yeah,
terrible.
they didn't give me any medication to like break it up. And it
Mm,
must have ended up passing like fairly easily, so it wasn't like too
oof,
crazy. Because I didn't have any
yeah.
follow-up and I haven't had like it reoccur or
Hmm.
anything, but oh, that first morning it was
Thank God.
crazy. I was just sitting on my couch and then I went to stand up and all of a sudden felt like I had been like stabbed in the side.
Oh
It hurt
God.
so bad. And yeah, I
Jesus.
remember I had to call my mom and tell her to call an ambulance for me because I didn't think I could stay on the phone long enough to try and answer the operator's questions because I was like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I was like, you need to call
Oh,
and tell them my address because I don't know if I'll be like conscious to answer.
oh
Like,
God.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, I
but
think Pat's had them. He said it was terrible.
yeah, it's brutal. I
Excruciating.
know
Okay.
quite a few people that have had them, and it's yeah, it always seems to just be awful. Um,
You're like they're
anyway,
shaped like
yeah,
what, and they're passing through where? Great.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so this guy, he seems to have bad luck. Hopefully they didn't ask him to transport the stone anymore. Um,
He's
the
had
next thing
enough
I have,
stones. Thank you very much.
yeah,
He's the guy that had
right?
the kidney stone, right?
Yeah, kidney stone. I don't know what the he had a stomach bug. He passed through this crazy
Mm.
storm, which um he said him and his wife, it was like the most horrifying thing they've ever experienced. Like they had to pull off to the side of the road. They couldn't drive and they couldn't even
Oh
get out of
yeah.
their car. It was so bad. And it came out of absolutely nowhere. Like there was nothing
Like a
around them that would have
whiteout.
yeah, it was crazy. Um the last thing I could really find was just that in 2007 the stone went on display kind of to the public where it seems to remain to today. It's set within a ring of silver with those two scarab beetle beads decorating one end. It kind of looks like a keychain to me. There is a couple pictures of it
Okay.
on the drive along with like
Yeah.
some of the owners.
I looked it up because I was like, doesn't look very
Yeah.
clear or like an amethyst. And it's like, it's very bright purple. But then, yeah, I can see the
Yeah.
two
The two
almost
other
smaller.
amethysts, like
Yeah, at the
it
end.
definitely doesn't look like them. So I could see why they would have thought it was a sapphire for a long time because it does
Yeah,
look
the
like very
clarity.
clear.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's
for
so
sure.
purple. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Uh yeah. Yeah, so the letter. I ended it with the letter, which kind of
Ooh,
recaps some of what I've told you. But there's a few details I left out
I
that
love
are
a
in the
good
letter.
letter from history. Some of them are
Yeah,
wild.
this is kind of cool. I hope it's actually like what the letter said. All of them seem to have the same one in the ones that didn't just quote it but had the whole thing. So,
Hmm.
yeah. It said, "To whomever shall be the future possessor of this amethyst, these lines are addressing in mourning before he or she shall assume the responsibility of owning it.
Oh,
This stone,
warning.
yeah, this stone is terribly accursed and is stained with blood and the dishonor of everyone who has ever owned it. It was looted from the treasure of the temple of the god Indra at Kanpur during the Indian Mutiny in 1855, which I had a different year. I'm not too sure. Um,
That's history for you.
yeah,
No.
and brought to this country by Colonel W. Ferris of the Bengal Cavalry. From the day he possessed it, he was unfortunate and lost both health and money. His son, who had it after his death, suffered the most persistent ill fortune till I accepted the stone from him in 1890. He had given it once to a friend, but the friend shortly afterwards committed suicide and left it back to him by will.
It was
From
like a
the
final fuck you.
yeah, take this
I'm
back.
like, yeah, I don't want this shit.
From the moment I had it, misfortunes attacked me until I had it bound round with a double-headed snake that had been a finger ring of Hayden the astrologer, looped up with zodiacal plaques and neutralized between Hayden's magic Tau and 2 amethyst scarabaei of Queen
Whoa.
Hattus's period.
Oh my god. Zodiacal? These are words I have
Yeah,
not
zodiacal.
heard. Zodiac is an adverb? Wait.
I don't know, but
something.
it's not underlined. So, like, Word knows that zodiacal's a word, I guess.
I'm like, should I know how to say this? Okay, fine.
I don't know. Yeah. Brought from Dar el Bahari. It remained thus quietly until 1902, though not only I, but my wife, Professor Ross W.H. Ryder, and Miss Haddon frequently saw in my library the Hindu yoga who haunts the stone trying to get it back. He sits on his heels in a corner of the room, digging in the floor with his hands, as if searching for it.
Ew.
So they also saw, like, this apparition, which I left out because it was like, ooh.
Of a yoga guy. I'm picturing somebody in like I don't know why, but like a loincloth or something, or like a
Something like that, yeah.
yeah.
I think it's
not a
because
lot
it's
of
like a
clothing.
yogi kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I should know what this means, but I'm not going to speculate. I'll just sound very misinformed and white.
In 1902, under protest, I gave it to a friend who was thereupon overwhelmed with every possible disaster. On my return from Egypt in 1903, I found she had returned it to me, and after another great misfortune had fallen on me, I threw it into the Regent's Canal. 3 months afterwards, it was brought back to me by a Wardour Street dealer who had bought it from a dredger. Then I gave it to a friend who was a singer at her earnest wish. The next time she tried to sing, her voice was dead, and she has never sung since. I feel that it is exerting a baleful influence over my newborn daughter. So I'm now packing it in 7 boxes and disposing it at my banker's with directions that is not to see the light again until I have been dead 33 years. Whoever shall open it shall first read this warning and then do as he pleases with the jewel. My advice to him or her is to cast it into the sea. I am forbidden by the I should have looked up what this for Rosicrucian oath to do this.
Yep, Rosicrucian. It basically.
Rosicrucian? What is that? I'm like, it's not the Hippocratic oath. I don't know what that word is.
No, I always hear about them usually within the Templars, and they're like a very secret order,
okay.
and it basically translates to like rosy Christians, but like Latin-y. So
okay.
yeah, like you hear it on like Oak Island and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, so he's forbidden by the Rosicrucian oath to do this, or I would have done it long ago. And then it's just signed Edward Heron Allen, October 1904.
Oh, so he was forbidden because he was part of the
I guess so.
or whatever.
Which was kind of cool. I didn't really know what that meant. I was like, what's this oath that he is called? But yeah.
I want to say like is the same kind of order as like they're like Freemasons or whatever. Like very secret sort
it seems
of
like it. They said this
situation.
guy was like pretty Heron Allen was pretty like cool. And he has a whole he has a Heron Allen society like and everything. They still do symposiums about like this Heron Allen Society. I could probably look up what the Heron Allen Society is. Let's see that.
Well, interesting. He's the one that thought to put it with the other like neutralizing
Yeah,
aspects and stuff. Yeah, you don't hear about that too often, but you do hear about people bringing things back to places that they took them from because they're like, oh, something followed me
right?
home when I stole from this crime scene slash sacred site slash tomb of an Egyptian pharaoh. They're like, shit.
Yeah.
Then a bunch of shit started happening to me. So I like sent it back with a letter of apology. It's like, well, yeah. Maybe just don't take shit that's not anything to do with you, and very much a lot of things to do with other people, and very sacred things sometimes.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty cool. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it
It's
just
not
seems
a
like
sapphire.
right. And then I totally threw you off talking about all the purple sapphire stuff at the beginning, and then it was like, ooh, an
Yeah.
amethyst is, but an amethyst is this, and an amethyst is that, and I'm like, oh, sneaky.
I know you
Um,
crystal loving girlies will just be like, oh yeah, its properties do what? And we just don't
yeah.
even, we're like lulled into that false sense of security. Exactly.
Yeah, so the Heron Allen Society seems like it's just focused on his like books and stuff he published because he was a writer as well. So
It's about his legacy.
yeah.
I see.
Yeah. But thought it was kind of cool. I was like, oh. And I liked the sources that had the full letter. A couple of them just
Yeah.
quoted like the first opening line and then the second one about like if anybody reads this, like cast it into the sea.
Oh
To
my
be all
gosh.
dramatic. But I liked the history because that was kind of backs up, but yeah, he
Right.
did call it an amethyst in I forget which part. So he had to have
Yeah,
known
that's right.
that back in 1904, which I'm kind of surprised by.
Because then,
Yeah.
it was officially discovered as well at a later date, was it?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the museum didn't discover it until it was analyzed in 2000 and or no, in 1972.
Or they
And it
knew
was
and they weren't saying much, and they're like, let's not
yeah.
real analyze that after that letter came out. No.
Yeah.
um Shit, yeah. I was gonna say
But
something.
yeah. That's all I got. It
Oh,
was
well,
fun.
and he said cast it into the sea. Was this not after the fact of it was cast into the river and came crawling back
I
to
think
the owner?
so. I think he's just like, maybe the sea is so big they wouldn't dredge it and then it wouldn't be found. Fire it from a
Yeah.
cannon. Throw it in a volcano. I don't
Oh,
know.
everything you don't want in the sea. Yes,
Yeah.
sharks with laser beams will eat it.
What?
Oh,
Sharks with laser beam.
Austin Powers. Get me some sharks with freaking laser beams. I want to
Laser
rewatch
beams.
those. I don't know.
I
I
know.
said we should rewatch them with Rain, and Pat was like, or Rain was like, we did, and I was like, oh, okay, fine. I just like those movies.
I watched them during COVID because I felt like I needed to watch something just unbelievably stupid, and they
Oh
were all on
yeah,
Netflix or something. I
yeah.
enjoyed
That's
them, but
that's exactly when you want to watch them, when you just need something
yeah, when the
like
world's on fire and you're
spoofy.
like, I'm gonna pretend life is okay. I'm gonna watch the freaking laser beams.
They make for
Uh,
wonderful references. Everybody's always referencing when he's trying to turn around with the very long vehicle in the very short, thin hallway or whatever, the narrow hallway, and he has to do like a 17-point turn with his little machine.
oh yeah.
And there's also the one where he's the bulldozer's coming at the guy, and he's just like, no. And then Austin's just like, move out of the way, I'm a very slow moving vehicle. And the guy just
Yeah.
stands there waiting to be run over.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But that one does kind of remind me of a case that we may have to cover someday that's called the Killdozer.
The
But doesn't have as
Killdozer?
much death as you think it would.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
kind of.
good to hear, I guess. I was like, what? What an MO. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, if you haven't heard that one, it's a story. There's like a modified bulldozer thing,
Damn.
and it may be, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's well, we'll have to go there someday then. I listen to
Sounds
too many
good.
podcasts.
Yeah.
um, all right, we'll be right back for Cursed Gems Part 2.
Yeah.
Well, all our longtime listeners will definitely know that recording a podcast is not always easy.
No.
Nope. So you better believe, like, when we find something we like, that we're gonna probably stick to it and not look for anything else. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love Zencaster. Uh, when we tried it, we were like, okay, finally, I wanted to have the video, and it's what, up to 4K video, which is
Yeah.
pretty effing cool. I can see every pore on Kelsey. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope not.
But it's great video and like just really easy on this one. So like once we stopped recording on our phones, I was like, yeah, this is the one for us. So even though sometimes our computers fuck up, it always comes through for us in the end, because we've never lost like a recording, knock on wood, and every time we've had to use it, it's just been really great and really easy, and everything's just recorded when we wanted it to, which is, it's a lot to ask for when you podcast as much as we do.
Yeah. It's nice that each of us has our own separate audio recording that you can download and edit. So it makes when one of us
What?
is
Not us.
doing something or has something, it's easy. You can edit that out even with the other person was talking because you have two separate tracks that you can edit. Yeah, it's one of the reasons we love Zencaster. Definitely, it makes it a lot easier. And the audio quality is also a lot better than any of the other programs we tried using in the past.
Yes, it is the best. So go to zencaster.com/pricing and use my code cryptic, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan.
We want you to have the same easy experience as we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
Keep it cryptic.
Oh, it hates me.
Computers.
Yeah.
That's funny. Now that we're back, I was thinking of you when I was listening to the Smartless one when they had on. It was Natalie Portman, who I love, of course, but like it was so funny because she kept having like not like technical difficulty. Like she was like 5 minutes in and she was like, "Oh guys, my sorry, but my laptop just gave me the thing that said it's like gonna die," and she had to go plug it.
Oh, yeah. You told me about that last week.
Kelsey. No. Okay, but it was
Yeah.
funny though. She did have people keep coming to the door, which was also
Yeah.
okay. Fine. I didn't remember I told you.
No. Well, I probably wouldn't have, but I just edited that episode, so I remember.
Oh shit, that's the worst. Yeah, my brother'd be like, "You talked about this." I'm like, "Did I?" Oh my god. All right. So I have a couple of cursed jewels, although, like I said, mine is still fairly short.
Okay. I'm excited. This was fun.
Yeah, really liked the research. Um, I'm calling this one Cursed Jewels, the Black Brothers. Please don't find that offensive, Tony. You'll see. It's the color of the jewels. Or, once you go black, you never come back to life. Dun dun dun! So stupid. Okay. Number 1 is they call it the Black Prince's ruby.
Sounds nice.
Ruby. It does. Is it black? Is it ruby? Is it the Black Prince's ruby? What's happening here?
Yeah. Sounds
Oh shit.
sounds conflicting.
Should I make sure to I have pictures. I should put them up to make sure in case you want to reference.
Yes, please. I like looking at jewelry, even if it's cursed.
I feel very strange that I'm not wearing any jewelry for this episode, but we're on like a
Yeah,
Sunday
I
night,
just
so I
bought.
just didn't put any on today.
Yeah, I just bought another pair of opal earrings at work. They're like bigger opals, and it's kind of like a half like moon kind of around it, around the opals. It looks so cute. I'm obsessed with them. And then I was like,
That
oh, I
sounds
remember from
cute.
our first episode, the Death Omens one, it's talking about opals.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like,
Oh
ooh,
my god.
in the first jewelry episode, and I'm buying opals. Yeah.
We did mention them. Sorry, I'm having trouble finding okay, that's uploading, and then okay. Notes, there it is. Aha! Folder should be up now.
I think I remember seeing the Black Ruby on the picture of it on some of the lists. I don't think I read too much about it, but it looks familiar.
Let's
All these
see.
crowns.
Ah, yes. Yes, okay. Yes, there were some good pictures of both of these ones.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, so big, so shiny. You feel like a dragon.
Yeah.
I want it. So the Black Prince's ruby was a gem taken off just a recently deceased sultan's corpse. When you
Okay, great. Off to a great start.
Well, some sources had a more like sugar-coated version where they like looted the tomb, but I like the version where he's just been killed and they just loot that body.
Snatched.
So
Yeah.
it seems more believable, doesn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
People are horrible. And this was in the 14th century when it belonged to an Abu. Oh my god, it's like the Aladdin monkey.
Yeah.
His name was Abu Said, the last sultan of Granada. As in, hello Mutta, hello Fada, here I am at Camp Granada. You know that if you watch The Simpsons. Okay.
I do. I'm just not there yet, obviously.
Sorry.
I'm only in like season 3, I think. Forgive me. I've been watching Futurama more instead.
Yes, we've been watching a bit of that too. Rain really likes Futurama, and then there's been some newer episodes, which has been kind of fun. Plus, they sometimes just get new tech where they'd be like, "Ooh, we're gonna have devices," and we're like, "Yeah, we have devices."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Okay, this one's a big bad motherfucker. At 170 carats, approximately 2 inches long, it was believed to be one of the largest rubies in the world.
Nice. I like rubies.
Yeah. I like ruby as a name too, just saying.
Yeah.
So back in like in the 1300s, in 1363, the Sultan's people were losing land to King Pedro the Cruel of the Christian Kingdom of Castile.
So, nice name.
He's gonna be nice, yeah, you know it. there was to be a peace negotiation. I can't talk now. With the Sultan meeting King Pedro. But once the Sultan got there to talk and parley, he was met with a slaughter, and they just looted the gem from his still warm corpse. And thus began the Sultan's curse.
Yeah.
I mean, makes a good story enough for a curse. It's curse worthy. Perhaps that's why I think that one.
Definitely.
Maybe that's why that story has more staying power. So who's to say? But we assume or know that shortly after, King Pedro began to fight a series of battles against his brother Henry of Trastamara, who was also, or he was vying for the throne. Game of Thrones. So Pedro reached out for help fighting his brother, and he got Edward the Black Prince of England on his side. Enter Edward. After a series of wins against Henry, Edward was given the ruby for his help in defeating brother Henry. So hence it became the Black Prince's ruby. And probably because it just sounds cool.
Yeah.
Edward returned to England and then proceeded to die of some, quote, slow disease, said the sources, before he could even inherit that dang throne.
Some slow disease.
I googled it. It said it was dysentery, which sounds fun. Glad we don't get that much anymore after the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, that's the one you coughed up blood, isn't it?
It's something internal. Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I'm like, once you get some sort of internal infections and stuff in those days, there is just nothing for it a lot of the times. You're like, well, cut off that limb or else you're done.
I prescribed leeches.
Yeah, so he got that. And then King Pedro, he didn't do so great either. He lost his next battle with his brother Henry. He ended up declaring bankruptcy, a la Michael Scott. And I guess died
Can't just declare bankruptcy. But I'm declaring.
I'm a millionaire. Nope, didn't work.
Donate to Patreon.
And he died within, I guess, 3 years of these whole events, apparently.
Wow.
So, I don't know if that's better or worse than dying slowly of dysentery. In old Missouri. No. So then in much the same fashion, the ruby gets passed down to Edward's son because they just bestow these horrible things on there. They're like, yeah, it's the family's jewels.
The family's curse. Let's pass it down.
Great. Sometimes that can be a good trope, though. I feel like I've seen some good movies where they're like, yeah, you've got the stupid curse. Look, Hereditary, that one's like, obviously, there was like a curse or something in that. Anyway.
I can't remember. No.
It can work.
Yeah.
But his son became Richard II, so as in like King Richard, so he made it to that at least. But and again, this is where you had said that, because of history, it's hard, like different sources. I was getting varying accounts also, so I was like, I'm glad I'm not a historian. I wouldn't want to weed through all the stuff and make sure,
right?
10 people say this happened versus 5 people say this happened or whatever. But the first thing I read was that this guy died at the age of 21, killed by Henry. Yeah, young, right?
Yeah, very young.
Yeah, and he was killed by another Henry. This one, the 4th of Bolingbroke, or something like that.
I've heard of that
Um,
before.
okay, because he began the line of Lancastrian kings, so I suppose
Oh, I don't know.
I I think he might have just been King Henry the Fourth if I looked it up after, but I was like, okay, I know the Lancastrian kings were the Lannister inspiration. Lancaster, Lannister.
Makes sense. Do
It
they
does.
also always pay their debts?
Nice. I don't know. But there was like a Lana Lannister. It's like, of course there is. Pat just put on uh, The House of the Dragon season 1 to rewatch because I guess that one's coming back too.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched it yet. I think my dad has it all recorded for me, ready to go.
Well, Matt Smith is in it. He's in both Doctor Who and this one and The Crown, and he's a really good
Yeah.
actor. I would say he plays a good prince, whether he's in House of the Dragon world or playing fucking Prince Philip. I think is who he
Mm.
played. Anywho, then Henry died too, possibly also slowly and horribly. It just says like on and on after that. There's royal misfortune, and I was like, history rabbit hole unlocked.
Yeah.
Illnesses, deaths in battle, blah blah blah. Also, these were just horribly perilous times, one must point out, I'm sure.
Yeah, you could die from anything.
Yeah, battles, a lot more battles. Illnesses, yeah, didn't know how to treat those.
No vaccines, no antibiotics, no surgery, no not much for treatments. There was like one of four things you could do.
Yeah. It eventually came to be owned by the Tudors, so there's whole shows about them
Okay.
guys.
Yeah.
uh, and then it said the 16th century was more of a quieter period with less deaths caused or adjacent to the gem. Less
Okay.
Black Ruby rage, perhaps we could say.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, Queen Elizabeth I managed to own it without harm, then gave it to Queen Mary of the Scots. I think there was maybe a picture of her wearing it in the
Hmm.
crown, as we'll get to, but damn, she's just a dour faced looking woman. I did not download it. But then after it was given to Mary, Queen of Scots, probably the curse could have passed down to the next owner, King James I, when the Stuarts took the throne in 1603. If you know anything about the Stuarts and their darned line, then you know the whole Jacobite cause was proper doomed, pretty much.
Yeah.
Partially just due to different things like all the religious strife at the time. Definitely no freedom of religion in those times. I was like, damn you if you were a royal who didn't practice the official sect of Christianity of the country of that time. Be
Yeah.
like, you suck because now we don't you know, like Catholics or whatever. Everybody's got to be Protestant. um. Anyway, see Outlander, etc., for the bitter end of that cause. But their point being that when this was all going down, that Charles the First, who was King James's son, was executed, and then the crown jewels were sold off. And it wasn't until then that the ruby was actually appraised and found to be not a ruby at all, much
Oh.
like the amethyst. Oh.
It's a Jolly Rancher. No.
Yeah. No, it's something that I am gonna assume is pronounced spinel. Spinal?
Ah.
but not a ruby. Like like maybe it's like a zirconia compared to a diamond. Like it's a almost exact match kind of thing.
Huh.
Um,
It
yeah,
looks like it's so lumpy. That's what surprises me, is it's so, I don't know, weird shaped, and it's got like
yeah.
bumps on it, and
You're like, did they just find it in that form? Because it doesn't look like it was cut to a particular shape.
no, it looks weird.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little lumpy. um, it said, or one of the sources said, quote, when the monarchy was restored by Charles II in 1660, the jewel sold to the crown for £15 and was refashioned as the crowning jewel of the imperial state crown. The throne was then inherited by Charles's brother James II, who was exiled just 3 years after coronation. So yeah, then most of the time you see it in the pictures in the crown, and
Yeah.
it's picture of the queen wearing it too, where I'm just like, oh, it looks so heavy, that damn crown. She's getting old in that picture.
Yeah. Yeah. They, I think they talk about that. I always think of it now, uh, when they do a lot of, what is it, like Indian wedding dresses, and even just their dresses, all that
Mm.
beadwork is so, so heavy.
Ooh,
Like,
yeah.
it's
So
crazy.
heavy.
Yeah. I'm like, that must
Yeah.
hurt your neck, and like, just, oh,
All the intricate, yeah, like ceremonial dresses over history and just general day-to-day stuff. You had so many different layers of everything.
yeah, it's exhausting. I can't imagine, like, yeah.
I sometimes just had to wear a petticoat at King's Landing, and even that could be a little heavy.
Damn.
Add the corset and the bustle thing you put on your ass. Oh, I don't know. It's a lot.
Right? I guess if you were used to it every day, it wouldn't bug you, but damn, like, it's too much.
Yeah, the way the girls talk about getting out of there, like my child is.
Cackling. I heard
Yeah,
that.
I was like, my door is not shut. Can you hear that? Okay, not sure what's going on there, but she laughs like her dad. Yeah, sometimes Claire and Outlander would be like, I took off my stays, and I think it's not like quite like a corset, but like kind of like a. Just like I feel like it's like a lot of ladies being like, I took off my bra when I got home. I'm like, yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah.
I get it. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, it other than that was known to be worn by Henry V at the Battle of Agincourt. Agincourt? I don't know. But where he was badly, almost fatally wounded. And then Richard III wore it at the Battle of Bosworth, where he was actually killed.
Huh.
So it wasn't very good luck for them.
No. Doesn't sound like good luck for anybody.
Also, do you just like wear your finest jewels to battle? Or maybe not, because it's not really a ruby.
Right? You're like,
Yeah, they're all dressed up. It's like, okay. But now it's on display at the Tower of London after it was put into the crown there, and like shortly after it was put into the crown initially, all the buildings that had housed it apparently kept on like catching fire and being bombed, etc. And now it's at the Tower of
damn.
London. Yeah,
Huh.
hard to say if that was just because like London and the World War II and the Blitz and whatnot, or if
Yeah.
that was more specific, but interesting.
I mean, if you're bombing the British, why not bomb places where they hold their jewels? So,
Right. But yeah, at least it's like in a tower, much more sturdy, castle-y type
yeah,
area.
I think I don't know if it's in the, would it be the Tower of London? The It gets robbed in Sherlock.
Oh, that's why they keep the crown jewels and stuff. I think, yeah. It's like
I'm looking it up now since we were just looking up. Yeah, Moriarty breaks into the tower in London.
okay.
That's what it
I
is.
remember liking
And he
the
steals the
Moriarty
crown jewels.
character.
Yeah, it's Adam Scott.
else?
What's not to like?
Wait. Oh.
Oh, are you thinking of Elementary?
What? Sherlock, the Benedict Cumberbatch one. His brother was
Yeah.
played by some English dude.
Oh, fuck, what's his name? He's one of the
I have
executive
no
producers too.
idea. Oh no, that one I
Um,
have no idea on actually. But you said Adam Scott, and I was like, wait, what? I don't know when.
Yeah, he plays Moriarty.
Does he? In which
Yeah,
version is that one?
in the one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
His brother is Adam Scott in that one?
No, Moriarty is Adam Scott. Andrew Scott. That's not Adam.
Ah. I was like, the fucking Parks and Rec guy?
No.
Okay.
Mark Gatiss plays Mycroft Holmes. He's one of the executive
Mycroft.
producers, along
Sorry.
with who's the other executive producer? The guy everybody hates.
But I'm getting Mycroft and Moriarty confused is what I'm figuring out. Okay, my bad.
I'm trying to look up the other guy, the other executive producer that everybody hates. He's one of the executive producers of Doctor Who. People hate him. It's so funny.
Oh no.
Stephen Moffat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's funny when people get passionate enough to hate producers and stuff, because there's definitely the fans that have the ones they don't like, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that now as to why everybody hates him, but I will.
Well, like I was telling you, there's a long history of it, and a lot of people feel like they own it, or if you try and take something in a different direction, they get all mad.
The fans are rabid sometimes. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Fandoms. Yeah. They can be toxic. We all know this.
Oh, yeah. Right. Definitely.
All right. We'll cut 10 minutes of me not knowing my Moriartys from Mycroft. No. So I can tell you about the Black Orlov. Yeah. It's got a cool name.
They both do. I like them.
Yeah. Yes. Totally differently picked them for the names. Cover the Hope Diamond. Everybody's heard of her.
Yeah.
Yes, this one is kind of mysterious in origin. The legend most prevalent being that it was stolen from a shrine in India.
Okay.
Yes.
Like mine.
I was seeing some similarities, yeah. The skepticism is strong surrounding the origin story, though.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of unverified stuff in this one, though. you know, could be whatever. A lot of these ones could be in the urban legend sort of category with some of their backstories. Supposedly it was in a statue of the god Brahma, which Brahma, I guess, is the Hindu god of creation. So that was cool. Yours was War and Thunders?
Yeah, which I forgot to bring back. It was cool because the guy gets trapped in that thunderstorm when he tries to take it, and it was the God of War and Thunder. So I was like, ooh, the second time when I was like typing up my notes, I was like, oh, it was the God of Thunder. And then he gets trapped in a thunderstorm. Like, I was like, ooh.
Everything's coming together.
Yeah.
That's very poetic. I like that. I
Yeah.
would like that. I would like that for a twist in like a novel or whatever. All right.
Yeah.
um, this one was supposedly in an eye of the idol itself, this Brahma, and then apparently stolen by some traveling monk that was passing by. Um, and
Just
this
gonna
was
take
in,
this.
yeah. And then the sources did say it was in Pondicherry, India, which made me think of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Prince Pondicherry and his chocolate Taj Mahal mansion or whatever.
Oh,
It's
I
in.
don't remember that.
No, it is in the movie and well, the book, but I also haven't seen the new what is it? Wonka adjacent.
Wonka? I
Yeah, I
haven't
haven't seen
seen it
Wonka.
either. I want to.
Sounds all right.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, it's all right. Spilling. Um, so some say it's unlikely that this supposed black diamond, like the Black Orlov, would be found in like India or in an Indian idol, as black is considered to be unlucky, I guess, by like their culture maybe, and wouldn't be in a Hindu statue.
Oh,
Almost
okay.
said Hindian. A Indian statue. Take two. No. um, and B, they are not even usually found in this area at all. Any black diamonds, I guess.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah. But again, it makes for a good like it would explain a curse.
Yeah, it would.
Like it's a religious artifact, and you took its eye, and now it's like an eye for an eye. Um, it may have been that the one thing I read might not have jotted it down, but like it was like one of the eyes represents the sun and one of them might represent the moon, and so the moon eye might have been a darker colored gem and that it might have made sense. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Or one of the three eyes that the statue might have had. I'm not too sure. That I didn't get any pictures of. Because yeah, nobody knows the actual origins, but we have later pictures of it, of course. Pardon me. So, more mysterious, quote unquote, facts passed down about the gemstone. Uh, it allegedly got its name when it was owned by a Russian noblewoman slash princess, possibly named Nadia Orlov or Princess Nadia Vigan Orlov. Vegan Orlov? I'm not sure the pronunciation. Not sure if she's a real person. Just saying. But there's a big old like belief that that's where it's got its name, was at least a Nadia Orlov of some sort. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
um, yeah, if she did exist, the legend has it that she fled to the safety of Rome during the 1917 Russian Revolution, like many other royals apparently did. Um, but other than that, we don't really know much other than she may or may not have married a jeweler. And most all sources agree that she probably died by suicide after owning the jewel. Just a little trigger
Oh,
warning
okay.
there for a little bit of casual
Yeah.
legendary death by suicide. Yeah, sorry. And after that, it was not even called the Eye of Brahma anymore, but the Black Orlov. So, yeah, did she even exist? It was like hard to really find out if you tried to dig in
Yeah.
more. Like, probably there were women with similar names to this Nadia lady. It's really weird, but yeah, I was like, oh, I do not want to be a real history scholar trying to determine like fact from fiction with some of these. It's funner just to be like Who knows?
Yeah.
um, most sources agree it was then purchased by an American diamond dealer, or at least a diamond dealer named J.W. Paris, and then was brought back to America, where we must note the Great Depression was in full swing at the time, because this was, like 1930-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he allegedly sold it like within a week of arriving home, but like business was bad or whatever, and for whatever reason, apparently by April 17th of 1932, he died by suicide also. And
Hmm.
it's said that both had used like the same method of jumping to their deaths, him off of a New York skyscraper, as many people apparently did in the
Yeah, I was just gonna
1930s.
say most people jump to their death in the 1930s. I feel
I
like.
feel like, yeah, we have reports that that happened at least a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi,
Um,
buddy. Can you go over there?
Gordo, Gordo,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. So yeah, the only other sort of sketchy possible death attributed somehow to the Black Orlov was of Princess Leonila Viktorovna Baryatinsky. Yep, nailed it. She was supposedly the wife, wow, that was hard to say, of Royal Navy officer Prince Andrei Glinstein, and she had previously owned the Black Orlov. And a lot of sources say she supposedly died within a month of the Nadia person, but hard to find info on her other than typing in the name and getting it coming up repeatedly with the legend of
Yeah.
this gem.
Been like any other information?
Right? Like the almost the exact same like wording too, of like, well, she
Oh.
probably died by suicide and owned this gem. But the only princess, Russian princess that has the name Leonila was you get this Wikipedia entry of a Leonila Ivanova Baryatinsky. So like similar but not the same name, you know?
Yeah.
And she was married to a different dude. She married a Ludwig, Prince of Sayn Wittgenstein Sayn. I don't know. Nailed that. But there's also a number of portraits of her by a Franz Xaver Winterhalter. So one of those is one of the pictures on the drive for you.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what these like pictures were. I have Princess L and then like
Two
Leonella.
random ladies.
Yeah, I
No,
was like, what?
it's well, she's like the closest person, if they are talking about a real person, that I feel like it could be. But her name is
Yeah.
not Leonila Viktorovna. It's Leonila Ivanova. Whatever. It's a lot of those names, it's like it's easy to get them a little mixed up, especially for us English speaking folks, because
Yeah.
I worked with two Vesnas who had very similar last names. Very similar to the actually a woman who I've heard about her on a podcast too. She's a Vesna that like survived a fucking plane crash or some shit, and I'm like, I gotta cover this chick. This is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
anyway, another one for the books. Um, we do know this diamond is the seventh largest black diamond in the world, I guess.
Damn.
It's like, yeah. And this, I guess, is after it was apparently chopped up into like three pieces by a Charles Wilson in the 1950s. So, I don't know. Why would you do that? Some sources said it was to break up the curse. And I was like, okay, well, maybe. but
That's how that
maybe.
works, right?
I was like, maybe not.
You get a third of
Maybe
the curse, and you get a third of the curse.
right? I'm like, maybe it's just smaller now because it's been
It
around for
can't.
like centuries.
It can't haunt all three of us at the same time. It has to take turns.
Yeah, you should have talked to your guy, and then like maybe he could have
Yeah.
neutralized it.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, but it's cool looking. It's apparently not quite black truly, but a dark gunmetal gray.
Oh,
Still
okay.
weighs, yeah, it's like still huge, 67.5 carats. But once thought to be part of a much larger uncut gem, like at approximately 195 carats. So like Jesus Christ.
I know there was one I remember looking up on the list that was like it's 100 and like it was almost 200 carats, and they're like it was part of original gem. It was almost
What?
900 carats, and I was like, what the fuck?
Holy shit. So
I
just like the
was like,
size of your like fist or
I was
something.
like, what the hell? Why did
Oh my
like
god.
damn, that's crazy. It's like
I know, and
800
I take
carats.
to wealth so easily. I'm like, oh, eat this fancy thing, stay in this fancy place. That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
Maybe I was rich in a past life. No.
right?
Ugh.
Maybe
I certainly enjoy
I
it
want to
much
be
more than
rich
being
in a
poor.
future life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That too. My mom keeps telling me 2024, it's your year.
Yeah.
um yeah, this one was sold in 1969, nice, for $300,000.
Damn.
Then it yeah. Then in 1990 for $99,000. A paltry $99,000. Uh
Yeah, what the heck?
I had to keep saying that to myself earlier. I was looking at it and I was going like, no, you don't say like $99,000, right? I was like, no. Anyway, my brain. This was to an unknown buyer. Then it was sold again in October 2006 at Christie's Magnificent Jewels at an astonishing $5,214 per carat for a total of $352,000. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, right. This was apparently much higher than it had been previously valued, coming in at a value of around like 1 to 200,000 previously, which I was like, okay, it kept like being sold for kind of between 1 and 3. Um,
Yeah.
but this time it was sold like shortly after rumors surfaced that apparently the actress Felicity Huffman was going to wear it at the 2006 Oscars that year.
Oh, okay.
I
Weird.
know. I was like, she didn't, but like, she was starring in Transamerica at the time and was maybe nominated, and then like opted not to wear it in the end. And then like after that, it got sold for like that 352,000 or whatever.
Huh.
So people were like, ooh, yeah.
She
Um,
almost wear it, but she didn't. And now it's worth more.
I know. Was she scared to wear it? Who knows?
Yeah. The insurance probably just costs too much, honestly. And celebrities get
Right?
like crazy jewels that they are on loan
I mean,
for them. It's insane. They have like bodyguards and stuff.
yeah. It's like the whole
It's
Ocean's 8. Or like, I can't
yeah.
believe they let friggin' Kim Kardashian wear the
Oh,
Marilyn
fuck her.
Monroe dress. Like, oh my
No, like, ugh.
god.
Fucking hate the
Historical.
Kardashians.
Yeah, they're not. They're not my favorite.
No. And people are like, and I agree, why the fuck are they
I
invited to the Oscars? Like, what do they have to
don't
do with
know.
anything?
Right? What are you famous for? Um, but anyway, we just want to be
Yeah.
famous for our little podcast.
No, but like the other people going to the Oscars are invited because they're nominated or like
Yes.
they're a plus one of somebody that's
Yeah.
nominated, or they're part of the crew, that kind of stuff. So why the fuck are the
Done.
Kardashians ever been invited?
Oh, I know. They get
Ever.
invited to all like the Met Gala and all sorts of
Like the
shit.
Met
Yeah, it's
Gala,
crazy.
whatever. Sure. But like the fucking Oscars. Why are they going to the Oscars?
Met Gala, you go there with your Kanye West. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. I
But
said
no,
it.
like the Met Gala, like, yeah, sure, they can wear their outrageous outfits, whatever. But
Right. Yeah, no, I don't
yeah,
know why they need to be at the Oscars. It doesn't
no,
make
I don't understand why they're at any awards show ever if they're not nominated. Like they have
right.
no reason to be there.
They have no talent, let's just say
Yeah, they don't.
it.
They really don't.
Oops.
Like,
No. Okay, hang on. I have difficulties. That was basically the end. Hang on. Oh, you know what? I'm probably clicking on my. This is what happens. This is what happens when you fuck a stranger. No. I need my mouse. Okay, here we go. Down to the bottom. Leonova. That was basically it. Oh, after she didn't wear it to the Oscars. One owner was a Dennis Petimesas or something like that. He owned it from 2004 to 2006, and he says he never felt nervous to own it. And currently, as per all those pictures you see, it's set in a 108 carat diamond brooch attached to a 124 carat diamond necklace. So it's like this uber blingy bling.
yeah. I mean, it looks nice. I like it best as
Yeah.
this necklace as opposed to the other pictures of it.
Wait, how does it look in the other pictures? Just like a
Like
normal, like,
it's weird. Like
because
I don't know, the one that's Orlov Diamond 3 is like I don't even know what that's supposed to be. These two.
okay. Well, because there's one last thing that I was gonna get to, which is when I was trying to look up pictures of it and um stuff like that, then I was coming across um there's one just called the Orlov Diamond, is what I think I've determined, which is a normal, not black diamond. But
Okay.
I was very, very confused because, like, so it's part of, like, apparently, like, it was part of the Romanov jewels in Russia, if I understand, and is now part of a scepter. But, like, it's not a black diamond, it's a normal diamond. But I was very confused because when they talk about the backstory of it, it very much sounds like the same backstory of the black Orlov diamond. So, like,
Okay.
yeah, if you listen to this, I think it's that one because I found the pictures and it didn't look like a black diamond.
Yeah.
But like the entry from Britannica was like, because I was looking up Orlov diamond or whatever and stuff for pictures and whatnot, and it's like Orlov diamond, a rose-cut gem from India, one of the Romanov crown jewels, shaped like half an egg with facets covering its domed surface, and the underside is nearly flat. It weighs nearly 200 carats. It said, according to legend, it was once used as the eye of an idol in a Brahmin temple in Mysore, and was stolen by a French deserter who escaped with it to Madras. So,
Huh.
like, not a monk,
Yeah.
but like the backstory sounds very similar. And then it said, others contend that the authenticated history of the Orlov extends to the middle of the 18th century, when the stone, believed to be the long missing Great Mogul diamond, belonged to Nader Shah, king of Persia. Um,
Hmm.
so it's like, I think, yeah, it seems like it's a different one, although it does seem like it's got quite a backstory when I just read all this with his, like,
Yeah.
after his assassination, it was stolen and sold to an Armenian millionaire named Shafras. Oh my god, I feel like I'm reading fucking a D&D book with these names right now. They sound made up. But this one article said in either case it was purchased in 1774 by Count Grigorovich Orlov, who, in an unsuccessful attempt to regain favor, gave it to Empress Catherine II. Like Empress Catherine II the Great. I guess that's how you say that. That's how it's written. You know, it's like Catherine II the Great.
Huh. Yeah.
And Catherine had it mounted in the Romanov imperial scepter, and it is now part of Russia's Diamond Fund, which contains the Tsarist regalia in Moscow. So that one, although this backstory sounded similar, it didn't say anything about it being a black diamond or
Yeah,
belonging
it doesn't
to.
look like a black diamond.
Yeah, it's a different. It's named after a different Orlov, a guy, and I'm like, okay, so these seemingly are two different jewels, but also like that could be a whole other thing I could dive into with this mystery of the Russian jewels and the missing Mogul diamond and like some of the missing Russian Romanov family jewels after the Russian Revolution. I guess some of them were like missing, and I mean, there's a whole bunch to dive into in the Russian history when you come to think of it. I mean, we do a part 2 on Patreon and we talk about Russian missing jewels and maybe like Rasputin or something. That would be fun. Anyway, I love a good mystery. I love some history, and you know that stuff just tickles my fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't you just love Rasputin and all those kind of weird prediction-y guys too? I think that stuff's really
I don't know
fun.
much about them, so.
Okay. Me neither, like a lot, but I still love it when they're like, and that predicted World War II. And you're like, okay. Right. Like, yeah. Some of them are pretty wild. But yeah, we're definitely gonna, I know we have something lined up that might be in kind of the psychic realm of topics.
Yeah. That'll be probably the next thing after this, or released right around.
Right. I think the next
Right
one is
after
the
this, probably?
crimes.
Yeah, but the March Patreon, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, March Patreon, and then I think next week we're gonna do Spanish crimes.
Yeah.
And then after that, more paranormal, so you just wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome. That was really fun. You're right. That was a fun episode. I liked
Yeah.
it.
Who doesn't love talking about? I just like gemstones and jewelry and
Oh my gosh.
everything. Yeah. Even
And
if it
then,
is cursed.
yes, the curse to me was just like a fun side of like history and who killed who and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, always fun to be a little superstitious. So, hope you guys liked it. And until next week, well, keep it cryptic.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Castles and Cryptids. We love all our listeners and appreciate every subscriber, every new review, every listen, rate, and download. Our music is by Kobe Off Air, and our cover art is by Antonio Garcia. We are also a proud member of Darkcast Network, where you can find the best and spookiest of all indie podcasts. Follow us on social media, where we are at Castles and Cryptids on mostly all of the things, now including TikTok. Check out our bonus content on Patreon. Cryptid clashes, video minisodes of your host making asses of themselves, Ask Me Anything, quizzes, other special episodes, and more. Starting at just $2 a month, you can get 1 to 2 extra episodes, depending on your level. We produce, edit, and research everything ourselves, and any support you can lend helps us to keep it cryptic.